We're on day 6, and I say that and I'm on day 6 of my recording and teaching live. Not so much on the welding of the sculpture, so I'm just getting myself set up, getting this all around, and I'll get started here. Welcome. Volume's up. Make sure you guys put earplugs in because, man, it gets noisy here. So today I'm working on, and have been working on, this sculpture, which is titled See My Pain. And it is a monument or a, I don't know, it's a sculpture, not a monument, I guess, but it is a monument to, I lost my best friend, my cat, and my future mother-in-law in the last 3 months. And I've just emotionally gone through it. And so I'll thank you so much for the likes. That means the world to me. Thank you guys. Much appreciated. I'm super grateful you're here with me. So I've been working on this sculpture, which is just me going through it with losing people. And well, you better pay attention in class. Come on, man. Like, gotta give your teachers, gotta give yourself the respect. Oh, Electric Eye, which is a cool name. Dig it. I'm sure you're taking care of your business first. You can come back and watch this live later, y'all. Just so you know, if you got questions, you can also email them to me. And like, if you got questions for here, you can either message me on here, or you can email me at BarbieTheWelder@gmail.com, and I will happily do my best to answer questions. And if I can't answer them, I know some people I can ask them. I'll find you the answer. Just am creating this sculpture to just, I don't know, express myself. And like, that's what all art is, really. It's just an expression. I don't mean just, I mean just. It's an expression of who we are as artists, and I feel like sometimes it's just easier to express myself in metal than it is with words. I feel things, and so it's just easier. Like, here, I'm in effing pain right now. I lost people. I'm hurt, and it's just a really great way to work through it for me. Like, literally, physically, like, I can hammer on stuff, and it's just a really brilliant way to heal through things. Like, art's the coolest thing in the world because it's limitless in what we can create. When I'm happy, you can tell it. When I'm sad, you can tell it. You know, it comes through. Like, it comes through in all of us. You know, the creativity, when I first started, I had no idea that this is like I didn't realize it was like the expression. But like, at first it was just like, I'm just so drawn to sculpting, to creating, and I can't explain to you. I'm drawn to what I'm drawn to. It was magnetic for me. And so I said, I must breathe, I must sculpt. And like, this is really this is very new realization for me. I mean, this is 10 years full-time as an artist. 2024, September 1st, 2024 is 10 years. So I mean, like, I've been at this. And then, like, there was a few years before that, 5 years before that I was working on getting to the full-time part. 6 years, it was 6 years before that. Jeepers. I've been at it for a minute. But, yeah, it's about expressing myself and my feelings and my emotions. And I will tell you that the more in touch with that I am, the more connected to myself that I am, and understanding. Like, look at when my best friend first passed away, died in a motorcycle accident. It was an accident, and so like, it was one day he was there, next day he's gone. And we're talking about best friend, man, like the dude version of me. If you met me at a motorcycle event in the last year and a half, he was by my side. That's my dude. And so it kicked my butt, right? And it was so bad that I just could not admit admit it. I couldn't even bring myself to say that. I pretended, like no kidding, I'm a grown ass woman, but pretended it was like, oh, like, you know, like I moved 3 hours south of him. We both moved to Daytona together, but like moved 3 hours south. It was just like, oh, he's up in Daytona. I literally made shit up, man. Like in my brain, like just could not bring myself to admit that I lost this person who represented like unconditional love and support for me. So like I just pretty much denied it. But I will tell you this, in the creation of this sculpture right here, and like this will be by far the best thing I've ever sculpted. One, because it's just what I pushed myself to do, but two, it's because of that connection to self. I tell you guys, stay true, live free. And that is the best advice that I could ever think of for myself or for anyone. Stay true, live free. This is expression of my pain. I am brokenhearted right now about my best friend, and so in stay true to look at, like, this is what I'm going through right now. Current mood is I'm crying a lot, and I'll go through it. Like, it's, you'll never get through a loss like that, but also, it's just, I don't know. This is just a really great way to connect with the emotion that I'm feeling right now. And in pouring myself into this, it becomes, oh, you're so beautiful. Thank you. It becomes like the expression of self is here, which means I have to connect with the hurt and the loss, which means I have to cry, I have to go through it. You can't go over it, you can't go around it, you can't go under it, you have to go through it. And so this is me going through it. This is feel my pain. This is, or see my pain, I'm sorry. God, I don't want to feel my pain. It's hammering my fingers while I'm creating. And this is see my pain. This is current mood. This is connection to self. And as an artist, if you're connected to yourself and your emotions, and this is tough, like please don't get me wrong, but I will guarantee that if you connect with yourself, you admit it, you own it, you feel it, and it's tough, like trust me, it's tough, you'll cry a lot, but also, when you connect with yourself, it translates, right? It translates. This will be by far the best thing I've ever sculpted because it is pure and simple. This is my heart. This is my heart and soul. This is everything. And so stay true, live free. Stay true to who you are as an artist. Stay true to just that connection to self. And I mean, like, whether you're an artist or not, like, this is just profound stuff that has drastically changed my life. So on that note, I'm going to sculpt things, so welcome. I'm super grateful. Thank you so much for the likes and the comments, and thank you guys so much for being here with me. It means the absolute world to me. I'm super grateful. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask here. If you don't want to ask in front of other people, which I highly recommend you ask in front of people, other people are probably having the same question, and if you ask, it gives them the chance. Be the brave one, ask the questions. Like, I really encourage you guys, because I'm here for you. Like, I'm here for me to do this, but I'm here for you. It's together we rise. So, oh, it really does, Zach. Absolutely. Yes, I do. Oh, Fences Forge, I love you, my friend. I absolutely love you. All of you. Just absolutely love you. Alright. So I've had to change stuff around as I create. Abatha? Oh, cool name. Hello, Abatha. That's a cool name. I love unique names. And if I say it wrong, I'm so sorry. I'm trying, people. I'm trying. So, as I was sculpting this, I had a thumb over here for my best friend Gary because he lost his left thumb, and so I thought, how funny would it be to find it for him and put it in metal. Over here I have a crown that represents my mother-in-law, my future mother-in-law, and here was 2 cat ears and a crown to represent my cat. So here's what happened. So I'm creating a splash. The splash for me must look real, and so in doing that, as I'm going along, I've had to change a lot of stuff. And as you can see, This thumb that used to look like a thumb doesn't look like a thumb anymore. This still looks like a crown to me, and I haven't really changed that much, but it still needs some more sculpting. And the cat's over here with the ears, it didn't work, so now I've just got a crown. I cried about it. I cut my cat's ears off yesterday in the sculpture. I was like, that was my intention, was to have the 2 ears as part of this. Like, here's the crown, you can see that, and then the ears. So as you sculpt, you have to change stuff. Having that, cool, very cool. As you're going, you have to change stuff, and you have to admit, and like this is like, I swear to God, everything I say is just as applicable in life as it is in sculpting. Like this is just, I don't even know. It's like a freaking welding guru over here. I'm not sure what's going on. But you have to change stuff. Just because I thought it was going to work, I tried it, it didn't work, I had to change. In admitting what doesn't work, you can then move on quickly to what does work. To what, if you pay attention and admit it doesn't look good. I didn't think it, like I wanted that so dang bad, but it doesn't always mean that it's going to look good. And so that is just be willing to change. Be willing to go with the flow, the splash. If it doesn't look right, it won't feel right. If it doesn't feel right, it will not translate to other people. This is about creating, it's not just about hammering shit out. This is about every single thing that you do is, it could be the last thing. And so it's so important for us to do that to the best of our ability. Sometimes our best looks better than others. Just saying. On days when I'm really like not in a good mood, like my best does not look as good as it does when I'm like on 100. So it's in admitting what doesn't look right. It's taking steps back. I work so closely in what I'm doing that I have to take that step back and get that overall look. And so and I'll do this for you. As I was doing that, what originally was looking darn good and I thought was cool, didn't end up looking good. And so now the splash, see now the splash really is starting to look like a splash. I still may have to add new things and stuff, but I'm going to swing you guys around here real quick and I'm going to give you the look at the underneath of that. Because this plays a huge part into it. Oh, and just let you guys know, my bench is smoked. It's so warped right now from the last sculpture I did. I literally just warped the living crap out of it. Well, this is not showing you underneath. Try again. All right, here we go. Let's see. Ooh, Bo, I really like that way of explaining it. I've never heard that before, and I'm just making stuff up as I go. But I love that that's a thing. See this beautiful movement in here? I'm just in love with this. This is just fun. Just an absolute fun like shape. I mean, but doesn't that look like a freaking splash? And so in cutting that stuff out, it just, and like I said, I still have more to go. There's still a lot more to go. What I'm doing today is I'm filling in this base in here with my 1/4 inch round bar. And I'm going to take that and look at this gobbledygook. So it doesn't always look pretty when you start. So that's been welded from this side. Well, you see how I'm doing this is it's been welded, and I'm taking, this is my cutoff wheel, I'm taking a flapper disc, I'm taking a whole bunch of stuff, and you can see over here, see where I've come, you can see underneath it here, I've got holes through it, and so as I'm doing this, I am grinding on the top, and then I will be filling in, so I've got to fill this in here, you see that hole there. So it is, it's a process, so when I do this, I weld between these, there will be, you get the metal, but when I had was up here, I had a big gap, and then I didn't put enough weld in it, but I didn't do. So it's just a process. It's a lot of welding and grinding, and then welding and grinding, and welding and grinding. Oh yeah, and then there's some more welding and grinding. But I will tell you this, man, the outcome of it is just, it's prolific. Anything worth doing is worth doing at your absolute best in your craftsmanship. Like that's what I was saying, like the last thing, like this could be the last thing I ever make. And so taking my time and really just being meticulous with every little detail, like you have to keep time in mind as far as like, you know, I can't charge $1 billion for this, so I can't take 3 years to do it, you know what I mean? Which, man, how nice would that be? Wait for it, $1 billion sculptures loading. Oh yeah, you've been there, done that. I try very hard to not have sugar on the other side. It's, I definitely ground out a whole ton of sugar, but that's for damn sure. Alright, I am gonna get myself buttoned up here, grab a shirt. Hey, thank you guys so very much for the likes and for your comments. It means the world to me. It's, yeah, earplugs are the first thing I put in. I absolutely am very thoughtful about my hearing, my vision. Definitely. I've got to figure out the whole breathing part. Like I've got to, you guys see this? This is like a restaurant this is a big ass overhaul thing. It's got a ventilation system for like I think it's for a restaurant, to like a restaurant hood. I mean, like, this thing works. Works is a good one. Thank you. But also, I'm still getting black boogers. So, I need to figure something else out. It's hotter than Satan's teeth down here. And putting something over my face and having to breathe through that is not the most appealing thing in the world. But also, I want to live for a dang long time, so that's, I gotta really think this through. So if you guys know anything for, I do have like those little half face masks, but again, it's just like, it's that heat, right? So, I guess I mean, you can't put a fan on. Sure. You always tell a welder like it's just faded. Faded or a welder. Whittling right now. Oh, cool. Just remember one bit about this. We're a first timer. Ooh, let's see. Oh, I'm so excited for you. First of all, whittling, how cool is that? That's pretty joyful. Best advice for a first timer would be have fun. Just absolutely have fun. I at first was like, oh, I work for myself. I tell people I work for myself, and I go to work every day. I go to work in my garage. I found myself getting frustrated while I was sculpting. And I thought, well, that's just silly. This is my joy. Like, the fact that I get paid for it is a freaking bonus. And so I realized I had stopped playing. Like, for a while, I was just playing with the metal. And then you're like, I'm playing seriously. But I was playing. And I realized that when I work, and these are just words, I'm literally just using them as words, but if you think about playing, if I'm playing and something doesn't go the way I want, I don't get frustrated. It's like I go play it in a different way. And so like I play with metal. I don't work anymore. So my best advice for you is play with what you're doing. Have patience with yourself when you're learning anything. It's just we tend to get frustrated with ourselves because we're not as good as Barbie the Welder, or we're not as good as Jesse James. You know what I'm saying? Like, incredible. If I look at him and judge myself against him, I'm just gonna lose because we never judge ourselves. Usually, we don't judge ourselves against people who are doing worse than us. So, have fun with it. Be patient with yourself and play. That's the best advice. And just enjoy it, man. And if it's frustrating you, then walk away. You're doing something wrong. Yeah. Oh, it's cool. It really is Barbie. It really is Barbie. Okay, guys, let's go. So I am now, I've got a bunch of 1/4-inch round bar. This is steel. It's just steel round bar. Most of the sculpture is done out of that. And I am taking and I'm using my MIG buddy in an inappropriate way, but it works really well. Thank you, MIG buddy. It usually holds my MIG torch, and it's got a magnetic bottom. But it works perfectly, like almost like it did it on purpose. It was just not on. But so I am taking this and I'm welding back here. Thank you so much for the love, Fencers Forge. I'm so grateful for you. All right, so let's see if we can get this here. So I am just taking and I'm using this 1/4-inch round bar. I'm shaping these pieces. Let's see where we are. Man, this is why I don't have a gym membership. Everything weighs a lot. Zach, thank you so much for the love. I am deeply grateful. That means the absolute world to me. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So I am just taking these pieces. I have this is a 3-pound, just a 3-pound ball peen. I use it for a whole bunch. It's painted pink so no one steals my tools. The shop I used to work in. No one stole them, but man, I like to use them and not bring them back. You know who you are. Bring the tools back, people. Alright, so I'm just going in. I gotta turn my welder on. That'll probably be a really helpful thing. I got so excited that I didn't even slow down to turn the welder on. Awkward. Alright. Glasses. And I know I need to put another glove on because I broke through this one. And if I don't, the water paper system, I just think it'll help you out with fumes. All right, Tyler, is that a hood that you wear? Is that a personal? Is it their vacuum cleaner, the personal ventilation system? Like I said, I do have one up here, but I have not heard of that system, and I would really be interested in knowing what that is. Thank you. All right. As I am shaping these pieces, it's got a little bit of a curve in it. Hello, World Tours. Hello, is it Sillet? Hello, hello. So I'm curving it just a little bit using holes I have in my bench here. And then I'm using it and putting it in here. So I want to create that splash shape. So I have to remember it has a little bit of a curve. And then also I want to leave a little bit of a gap between each piece so that my MIG weld has a place to go. We're creating this like this. Now, I want you guys to know this. You can actually do this. Like, there's so many different ways to weld art. This is my technique. This is what works for me. I don't know if other people use it. I have no stinking clue. I'm just busy welding my own stuff. I've used sheet, and I have people ask me, why aren't you using sheet? And I do occasionally. Like, this is sheet here, it's flat piece. I need a flat piece for the bottom. But when it comes to these side pieces and this, which, listen, you can create compound curves and sheet and plate. I'm using plate because it's thicker. You can create compound curves in that. However, I deeply enjoy this process. I'm making my own metal technically. I'm not, right? I'm making this, but I'm creating that. And for me, the compound curves that I get by using round pieces, even if I was to take round pieces, cut slices off and use them like I did in the hand. If you haven't seen that video yet, there's a I Love You arm and hand sculpture I did. I used 5/8 inch round bar. Holy cow. I used 5/8 inch round bar and then cut it into 1/2 inch wide discs. I literally cut a hole, I think like 6 foot into those 1/4 inch discs and then used them, laid them out like this in a palm, And those, it just gives me like these compound, like working with circles really just, I find personally, and this is round, right? It's a circle. I feel like it completely just works for me. And it might be way easier to do this in another way. I am just simply, I'm doing what works for you, I'm doing what works for me. So it may or may not work for you. You might find that like some of the things I'm telling you really make sense, and some of it is just complete crap for you. And the idea is, I'm showing you what works for me. You need to go and try this stuff. Figure it out. Like maybe it does. Like maybe it's completely, like maybe it's exactly what you needed all your life and blah, 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 right? But also it's just, there might be one or two things that you use and like the rest of it's just crap. And so it's, the best thing to do is experiment. It's play with an experiment. Like I said, play, there's that word again. Play and experiment and just see what works for you. So I just love this because of the results that I'm getting. It definitely is time consuming. It's tedious. It's, you know, I'm hand shaping every single piece. However, right, it's all about the results for me, so. Well. Time I'm going to come in here, I'll curve it, and then I'll just fit it in. And what's going to happen is I'm going to have to blend. So you see this is the back side of that. And so I just have to make sure this, and this is going to be a smooth transition. So there's going to be a little bit of going on. If you guys have questions, please ask. I'll happily answer them. If you have that question, chances are someone else does too. And maybe helping someone out. That's a thoughtful thing to do. Dallas, is that, are you a female welder? I love social media for bringing me a whole bunch of family. I'm so excited. Up to here, I'm looking for a similar length. I got this piece here. You can kind of see if I was doing this. A piece of 1-inch tube and square tube in here. And I said, I don't know if this is safe or not, but I'm doing it. Don't judge. But I mean, you can judge if you want. It's your life. But in here, I've got a whole bunch of the round bar. You see this? So I'll pull. I've got a jack this whole thing full. And I can pull it out and I'll cut it all at the same time instead of one little tiny piece at a time. Sometimes I one piece at a time, but mostly I will cut. I think there's 12 pieces fit in there. But I'll cut that all so that, and so I'll end up with a bunch of pieces. I can see like coming around here, I'm going to need approximately this long. And so I'll cut a whole bunch of pieces that are similar in length so I can, as I'm coming through. I tend to, sometimes I work fast and sometimes I work slow in how I do things. Always looking to find ways to work faster, but also each and every single piece that I lay on the sculpture is important. every spot that I put it in, it's like it's being thoughtful about it. So finding ways to work fast where it's appropriate, like assembly line. So having a whole bunch of pieces all this length, I can sit there and curve like 5 or 6 pieces at once and then lay them in here, and that works a lot faster. This is going from tall to a little bit shorter, so it's helpful. So for here, I'm just doing it like giving it the old Johnny Cash treatment, one piece at a time. A little bit of a gap. Room for the weld to go. I literally, watch me do this. This is how I find shapes. I'm like, this goes in this curve. Man, I was never good at juggling in school, but I swear to God, if I went back, I'd probably be amazing now for how much, like how I hold stuff, and I lied, as it falls down for the 3rd time. Okay, I can't make it in juggling still. Now I'm coming around this corner here, and so I'm keeping the bottom. This is shorter area and this is a lot more. Trying to keep the bottom a little bit closer and then gapping this top just a little bit more, so it's like putting it in like this to try to take that to come in around. I'm trying to decide on this spot right here. As I'm coming across here, it's definitely, I got this in, let's see, it's way curved in. So I need to make sure that that's one, like I'm gonna be able to create that shape. That shape should be there. That's a big thing, like should that shape be there? It's a big, wow. Back to this shape should be back whence you came. Alright, might have to grab that. Yeah, I have not welcome back. I have not worked that out yet. I personally, at where I'm at now with my business, I tend to just put a number on stuff. I don't know if that's right or wrong. I'm really just, I'm learning as I go. Like, back when I was doing stuff like horseshoe art, and stuff like that, like the stuff I teach in my books and here on YouTube and my videos. Like there's certain things like a horseshoe wine rack I can get between $45 and $75 for it. Today I have built myself up where my sculptures are between $5,000 and $20,000 on a regular basis, and then I have the one tradesman I've got for $276,000. Pricing stuff is still really a challenge. I think it's the biggest thing that an artist faces. I have to sculpt to make money. I have to sell sculpt in order to make a living, so I can continue to eat and buy cool stuff and buy my trucks, buy parts for my trucks and my Harley, so I can buy welding supplies, right? And so, you guys like that are here that have been watching this, you know this sculpture represents a loss of 3 people I love. How do you put a freaking price on that? This represents emotion and time I'll never get back. It is by far the best thing I've ever done. And again, how do you put a price on that? And so it's completely it's definitely a challenge as far as like price on it. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that one. That's something that I gotta make sure, like as artists, we have to make sure we're honoring our time, honoring our vision, our uniqueness. Like there's no other Barbie and the Welder in the world. There's no other. There's just not. There will never be another sculpture like this. I will never make this again. This is the only one. And so making sure that I'm honoring that, it's super important. But also without being a cocky person, right? Like it's like there's definitely like, oh, you know, I'm worth this, but like no, there's like it's complete. Like if you take ego out, like taking ego out's a really good way to do it. But that one's a challenge. So remove ego, set prices, honor yourself, honor your time, honor your creativity, just honor it, right? And so it's good luck. I appreciate it. It's completely, yeah, me too, my friend, me too. But that's why, like, that's why we're connected, right? It's because we just, yep, that's why we're connected, is because we feel things, we understand each other. The empathy there is like having empathy. That's why this would be good. All right. I do not have a new Miller equipment. I'm working on purchasing the next equipment for me. Let's see. Pneumatic press. Next equipment will be a pneumatic press. I'm super stoked about that. Biding my time. Bigger shop so I can have room for a pneumatic press. I'm saving and working and biding my time and loving every minute of it. I am enjoying the process. Alright, let's see how to do this. So I'm coming around the corner here. I just gotta make sure this is curved on this much. I'm wondering if I should move these pieces, because I think I need to come up there. Yep. That's why it's so important to look back and forth. No, that does need to be. That's delightful. That needs to come out to there. I see. Okay, so they take them off and weld. What I have here, let's see if you can see this. This is I'll whack this off the ceiling. Just kidding. So in here, these pieces in the middle are curved in too much. So if you look at it sideways, it's just got too much of a curve. It's got to be. Thank you. I think these are curved in too much. I can two things. Which, I mean, that curve is supposed to be there. That's just a lot of weld to fill it in. So I can lay that across it. There is always problem solving to be done in sculpting and in life. It's just a matter of what would be the easiest way to fix this. This is not where I want it to be. So I can cut these out, or I can fill this spot in with weld. And by weld, I mean I'd have to put round bar in here, and then weld, which actually works really well. And I think that's the fastest way. The only difference is that I have longer. It works. Lovely. Usually several ways to achieve a result that I want, which is really fun. And it's problem solving. Excuse me, sir. It's just figuring out what way you feel would be the easiest. Just get those results. This is like stuff that most people will put in their scrap hopper. Hey Nancy, how are you doing? So like these little tiny pieces, I'm all over the ground picking them up. I've got them all over the place, but man, you would not believe how many times these little tiny pieces get used. It's resources. These are precious, precious resources that we have. And if you're thoughtful about your resources, it'll go very, very far and serve you for a long time. So I don't know if it's wasteful of my time resource to crawl on the floor and find these little resources, but it brings me joy, so I do it. I love that I make everything count. I feel like everything's valuable. Looking good, Toots. Just by filling that little bit in, it makes a big difference, and I can see that's coming to look the way these little pieces are just perfection. Getting that curve. That curve I want in there. Just a little bit more than I would like it to be, which means, oh, you're so sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nancy, it does. I think it saves a lot of money, but there's, I gotta watch my time money balance kind of thing. Like, Which also, I'll never stop picking up metal off the ground. I'll walk down the road and pick up screws and nails and all kinds of good stuff. And I'll give it, like, you can't believe people threw that out. You gotta be kidding. Out some. It was just a bit. Like, when I put it in, it was perfect. But also, as you move along, sometimes the angles might change, like as it did with this. So that angle fixing up here changed down here, so you have to be cognizant just of every angle. Just keep an eye on it, unintended. Makes a big difference. A different curve in it in one spot could actually throw off the look. I want this to be, I need it to be, look perfectly organic. I don't want one spot. Like if there's a bad spot, like this is such an interesting thing. If there's a bad spot in the sculpture, what I mean is, this is curves, it's natural, these beautiful natural curves. If there is a square spot, a moment that goes here and here, that will ruin the natural curves. It's going to stop your eye. It's going to, it literally like frustrates you. I don't even know, it's probably maybe not a good word. It frustrates me. Maybe it doesn't frustrate you. And frustrate is not the word I'm looking for. It feels like friction to me. I think that's a good way to describe it. If the natural curve stops and there's like the square moment, it will, at least it does not resonate with me. It causes friction in me. And so I need to make sure that each curve, like, the curves they blend in with each other, they're harmonious, and your sculpture will be harmonious. When people look at it, they will feel the harmony of these curves. And like if it is all angles, then you don't want a curve in your angle, you want an angle, right? Like, and sometimes you make sculptures that are both. Like if you're doing that, then like if that's your vibe, then that's your vibe. But in this is natural, beautiful movement of the water. Like, bam, it hits the ground, it splashes back up. And so there's no square moments in that, only soft curves. And so if I have this, like even one piece, like it will ruin that moment. It'll interrupt. It'll interrupt that moment. There you go. I think that's a nice way of saying it. Because ruin the system. It won't ruin it. Okay, it'll ruin it. It'll interrupt the flow. And interrupting the flow of that is just, you can tell, you can see the difference. Craftsmanship is all about the details. Art is all about the details. And so in your creation, keep the details first and foremost. And just take your time. This is not a race. Perfectly, I personally find that when I start creating, I make mistakes, it's not good, and I forget to enjoy the process. And the process of creation is, this is my favorite new understanding for myself. idea of the project. Like you have your first vision, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna weld this eye with tears coming down with a big splash. Like that's that first moment of excitement. Process is all that time in between your excitement and then when you finally see the finish. And enjoying that, learning to, because I've had to learn to enjoy it because I've been rushing. I definitely spent some time rushing to get done with the process. But there's no glory in that. I've learned there's no glory in that. Isn't that a nice way to say that? Definitely that the glory is in enjoying every moment. It's not going to be, every moment I sculpt is not going to be perfect. There's going to be a lot of, how the heck do I make that look like that? Or how can I make that happen? Or why the hell did that happen? There's a whole lot of that going on. Right? Right. When you learn to embrace that process, you learn to slow down and enjoy it. That's where the greatest art shows up. Every detail matters. So enjoy that process of creating the details. That's what you want. Complete joy and happiness. I am on the East Coast. Yes, Nancy, I have been on the East Coast. I was in upstate New York, and last year moved to Pompano Beach, Florida. And then, after about 6 months of loving that, I fell in love and moved 3 hours south to Pompano Beach, Florida. That ever stick welded. Tyler, I have definitely stick welded 2 days of my life. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at it at all. I need practice and a lot of practice. All right. Man, I should have a candy machine in my shop. Alright. The second new piece of equipment for my shop will be a candy machine. Thank you. Cool. Roy. How are you doing, Roy? Wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much. I'm grateful to you. No! Ding dang it, man! Hello, darkness, my friend. That's okay. Let's see if third time's a charm. I'll fucking find out. Please, what? Is there a better way to do this? I have not heard of that, Tyler. So, with the addition of compressed air, it takes compressed air and because it's running an air compressor. So, what's the benefit to that? Like, why would that? How would the air compressor model benefit me? That's pretty cool. I'm interested. What you got going on there? I'm not There's a lot of technology out there that's completely unaware. It's wonderful. Because man, there's a lot of stuff out there that will definitely help us welders be safer. Live longer. So we can make more cool stuff. welding my phone as a matter of principle. Picasso. Welcome back, Zach. Hope you brought enough for the rest of the class. So much for the love. I'm grateful. Thank you so much for the likes, you guys. It means the world to me. Thank you. As I'm coming up on this spot here, I'm going to take this side and this curve and all of them, and this one's got to meet up with this. So as I'm coming through here, I just got to make sure I'm cognizant of both sides, and that I'm working with one here, kind of back and forth, so that as I'm coming up on that they will blend together. They not look like a transition, but look like they belong. Don't fall in there. Not. I'm not sure this is. Welding at the top because I got to put my fingers in here, and I'm trying to 78. Yeah, sorry again. Decisions were made. Yeah, Pompano Beach is like freaking paradise. So I'm not welding the bottom right now. I'm not tack welding the bottom on because I'm working on putting my fingers in here. Not as hot. So I'm just tack welding the top. I'll go back through and I'll tack both bottom. I have to go back. This is just like a I'll probably burn my little fingers. Darn it. And thus is my life. Call your own shots, people. Maybe not the call that I'll burn my finger shot next time. I'll work on that. There we go. I'll move you all back just a little bit. So now, I'll show you at this point, I think I got it. And I say I think, and I want to show you guys something because just because I think I got it don't mean I do. Doesn't mean I do. And maybe I do. But this is a way to tell is in looking and taking a step back. So I'm gonna pick you up, I'm gonna spin you around, and we're gonna look underneath this together so that you can see what I'm talking about. The splash needs to look organic. So as water or a droplet splashes down, this splashes up too. And so, and this might change because this is just how it gets created. It's like I might need to do this little different thing or do that little different thing. But right now, what we're looking for is an organic shape in the splash. And this will smooth out. You can see under here that there's a spot here. I'll have to weld on this side and weld on this side, and then this gets blended. Same thing. And so as we look underneath here, I am pretty happy. Pretty sure that gap is like over here. It's going to take a little bit of a see this moment here. This is what I was looking at. Another spot like that over on the other side. It's going to have to get. What I'm talking about is this here. Give me a pointer with my big old glove. I'm talking about is this here. You can see if I look this way, there's a stop. Alright, and the splash won't have a stop. It has smooth. Oops. Smooth, smooth, smooth. And so in welding, I can either and cut this out, which I'm not cutting it out because I know I could put a little extra weld in there and fill that gap. Now, I just got. Now, all I have to do is just weld. So, get you guys up here and let you turn back around and do a little bit of welding. If you guys have questions, Centerline Fab Solutions. What's up? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome. Welcome. So grateful you're here. Now, I'm going to do some welding on this. We got strap up here. And I'm just going to go to town. As I'm doing You guys have questions, though? This, and you're seeing it from the side. This is curves. It's a little bit here. It's a small one. It curves, but because I'm using round bar. I hope you guys can see this okay. What I'm showing you. Because I'm using round bar again, I'll use my pointer tool here and chisel. This is square or a circle. It's a square with a sharp spot. So I'm welding. Let's see here. TIG welds, keepers, Barbie. MIG weld, here, I am welding here, down, and what that is doing is, I am filling this gap to stop this, so I'm starting my weld here, I'll show you from the sideways, starting my weld here, and then bringing it down, it's just like a teardrop. As it comes down, it's thin when you start, and as you come down, you're bringing a ball of molten metal down to stop. And if you stop on that, you can see right here, thin, and then that ball of molten metal sits on top of that, which is giving me a very smooth transition from these two. So I'm literally going to go around the whole thing, getting that smooth line on the top. I'll start with that, and it's just like, not solid welding, and there's a lot of this. It's not solid. I mean, I'm solid welding, but it's just like, it's almost like putting tack welds in. Giant tack welds or large size tack welds, but using the material from that weld, I push metal around. I don't just weld, I manipulate the metal. So I'm not just laying a flat line. I'm doing something like this. Like, if you're trained as a welder, you're laying like the nicest welds. Which also, you always want to do that. Don't get it twisted. Always make nice welds. The best you can. But in doing this, and this takes practice, this is just a matter of being under the hood, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a matter of being under the hood, and it's practice. You could watch how the metal acts and then move the metal around. And that's what I'm doing, is I'm using the metal's natural tendencies to drip. And I'm using it, like, that's just a great word. I'm using it to drip, and so I'm starting here with this up. And then just pushing that big drip down onto there. And then that goes from, it makes maybe a weld, as I start up here and then pull it down, it makes me a weld, it fills in that gap. Here's that top of the round bar. Right? From a smooth surface to that, and so it does this and gives me that filler. So that's what I'm doing right now, is just creating that smooth transition by manipulating the metal and pulling that down. Hello, is it Pima? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, I'm so sorry. Hello. Welcome, I'm so grateful you're here. And there are spots I will burn through. It's going to happen. Just because of how I got this and where it started. I have to build up metal in some spots. And so like the ability to move the metal around will really help with that. Oh, Tyler, I have, let's see, for a church. I have not. I have made a sculpture for, and that'd be amazing. I love my angels. I've made a sculpture for a funeral home and for a cancer center, but not a church yet. And I also have for first responders, for firefighters. Definitely would love to. A church one would just be the most incredible thing. It would be absolutely just the highest honor. Can you imagine that? Weird that would be hot all day long. Welcome. Now that I've got that top, where I've got that transition, where I've gone in and I've welded down to blend that 1/4 inch round bar into this, I'm just taking and just welding down in between every single one of these, every single 1/4 inch round bar. Study my hand, it's the easiest way. It's like playing pool. So I don't know if you guys can see 100% how I'm doing that. But like having different, I mean like I take an aggressive stance on welding. Look at this. I'm out like this, I got my hand blocked, I'm holding this. This is allowing me, I'm using my whole body to take and study myself and create consistently good welds. So having that, like it's like playing pool. If you've ever played pool, like you put your hip against the table, if you have multiple points, you should have 3, multiple points of like just stability. And the more you do that, the easier it is. If you're not comfortable, your weld's all over the place. You need to be comfortable, but also and steady. And holding on, and it makes a world of difference for what you're doing. I'm like burning my fingers over here. Normally I do this. This is what you get. Is this right here? Oops. So right here, nice, clean, coming down smooth, and then when it's time to grind this, yeah, it's going to take some time to grind. Man, like having that gap in between those pieces of 1/4 inch round bar, that weld gets laid down in there flat. You can change your direction of welding also in order to flatten that weld. By having this flat, it lets me come over here with either a cutoff wheel, a burr bit, or a flat disc, and let me smooth that down, or a hard stone. I use all of them. Will allow me to come in there and flatten that, like smooth it out really, really easy. now that I've got, what I'm going to do is work on a small spot. Oh, Tyler. Sweet human being. Wow. How do I ever put into words my gratitude? I'm going to have to sculpt my gratitude for you. My sculptures are healing me. It's definitely my desire that everyone has that. Thank you, my friend. I'm just deeply honored. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel that through your words, like what I'm doing absolutely translates, and it's because you said that. Thank you. Aww. I like am the luckiest woman on earth. Absolute luckiest woman on earth. So what I'm doing in here, I'm showing you guys now. I've gone through and I've welded. I've got transitioned from the spot here. We've done the transition from there to the round bar, and now I'm coming in here and there's a little bit of a like it's not square, but it's not round yet. So it's a dip that kind of comes in and has more of a sharp curve, and I'm going to fill in this spot with about a nickel-sized piece of weld. And so I'm just coming in here and building that out so that this is a smooth curve. There's no 90 degrees. There's no sharp angles. It's all just curves. How I did that. It's just little tack welds, small tack welds piled up here, and I basically made a triangle, and that'll create this smooth transition. There's still a little tiny bit in here that needs to, but it's a lot smaller, so just a small little couple of spots in here, and it should be decently curved enough, which I will have to go back in through here. This is initial welding. Just don't rip my pants. This is initial welding, and in this time, it's like this is like you put the most material down the first time, and then when you get that down, you get it as close. You want to get it as smooth as possible, as close as possible, so there's less or as little grinding as possible. But then you'll go through, you'll get this, and then you're going to have to end up going back through and filling in holes. So like what I mean by that is you're filling in gaps. So on the front here, and this is my initial first grind has been done. Closer so I can show you this. Welcome, so grateful you guys are here. I love teaching, and I love that I get to share my passion for metal with people. So you can see, let's see, where's a good spot? So like in here, let me get where's my fancy pointer? In here, there's a small hole. Like, and out here, it's pretty smooth. Now this is from the other side. This is, oops, sorry about the orientation thing. So I'll have to go back. Like, I've done my initial welding and my initial grinding in here. And you can see there's like a whole bunch of spots. Now look I've seen, like you can leave it here. No, you can't. You can't leave it here. Stop leaving it here. Finish your sculptures. I love you. But the truth is, make them better. Fill in all these holes. Every single pinhole. It used to be cool. It used to be cool. It's not cool anymore. Your craftsmanship. Every single thing that you do. Don't look at my pile of garbage over there in my backpack. This mess I've got in the corner. Man. It's so important to fill this stuff in, man. You're only as good as your last piece of artwork. Right? Your last interaction with somebody. Your last whatever. You're only as good as that. It's so important to do your best. Like I said, my best in 2018 is not my best today. So looking back at my 2018 art, it's amazing, but I'm like, man, girl, you could do better. The importance of getting all those, fill in the holes, fill in those little spots, man. It takes more time. But at the end of the day, I will not be done with this sculpture. Look at me stand next to it. I'm proud to stand next to my work because there are no things on it that I would change. That's how you know when a sculpture is done. Don't give me any of this BS. This, oh, I know it's done when the universe talks. No, it's done when it's done. It's done when every little hole is perfect. It's filled in. You don't have these gaps. And look at, and it takes time. It is practice. You always work at your best. You judge yourself against yourself. But your sculptures are done. Your art is done when you have all the weld spattered off of it. When you have all the weld discoloration off of it. When there's not holes and spots. It's not supposed to have holes. Like, now that you know better, you do better, right? So, I am now going to spend a little bit of time. I'm going to grind this and show you now that I've shown you how to tack weld it in. I've shown you how to transition from your material down to the round bar, and now I'm going to show you. Oh, thank you. I'm going to show you how to do the grinding part of it. Just whatever floats at the time. There's always many ways to accomplish stuff. So sometimes when I go to grind, where is my hard stone? Apparently I don't have a hard stone sitting here, but I'm going to show you. Hold on. Hold my beer, watch this. Where the heck did my hard stone go? Like, maybe it fell. This is my shelf of grinding things. But I have my hard stone, so sometimes I use a hard stone. This is amazing. This goes in my 4.5 inch grinder. Yeah, 4.5 inch grinder. This is Wilder Abrasives. I don't work with this company. They don't pay me. I love them. They've got amazing products. They cost a little bit more than, I don't know, like they're about an average price, I guess. But highly recommend it because it's dang good. It works, it lasts, it's worth it. My favorite cut-off wheels are by them also. So sometimes I use a hard stone. And listen, I want you guys to understand this. Hello, welcome. Just because you see me doing something doesn't mean it's the safest way to do it. I always like safety glasses, face shield. I run tools and equipment sometimes in ways that are not meant to be. So this is like, please be safe in what you're doing. Always, always like, protect your eyes, protect your ears, protect yourself. Where like, cover yourself up. I'm like, I need an extra button on this jammy, right? Like, so sometimes I use a hard stone and doing that. Sometimes I use it the way it's supposed to be, and sometimes I use it up on its edge. I want you to see this. I'm working on organic shapes, curves, and so if I have something that's curved, I can create natural curves. And not natural. They're natural when I'm done. Right? So sometimes this is a good thing. There. Here we go. Welcome. Really up to the bar, y'all. So sometimes this is a really great way to do this. Hard stones, I call it hogging off a lot of material all at once. If you have big welds, lots of material to take off, and have really good hearing protection, because man, these things are gnarly loud, I use a hard stone. Sometimes I use a flat disc. My favorite are curved flat discs. And when I say curved, I mean all the way around the world curved, right? So you have some that are curved a tiny bit. Most of them are flat. My favorite are the curved, because that way I can run this on its edge. And now I'm creating the curved shapes in this. So you're going back and forth across the flat metal, but you're doing this. So it's digging. And with this, it not only, with a flap disc, this is sandpaper that's in flaps. So you can see like it's got flaps of sandpaper. This is wonderful for taking off a lot of material, but also leaving a smooth finish. Now, hear me out. When you are, the wrong thing is this. With the hard stone, if you are taking your time and you are thoughtful in your use of this, you can also create a smooth finish with a hard stone. It's practice. All of this is practice. So just practice. Also, again, I told you I use things in a maybe not always the most appropriate way. There's a baby hard stone. The This is for my grinder that's this way. And same thing, I run this on its edge. This one I would either run this way, because that'll let me get in smaller areas. This is the smaller area. I'm all about the details, so I tend to, and again, whether this is right, wrong, or otherwise, this is how I work. And again, you might find a different way works for you. Please experiment with different things. Please be safe in all of it. But you want to just experiment with what works for you. I'll offer you all the ways that I'm doing this, and you might find that none of these ways work, and there's actually something else, and something I said makes you think about, like, oh my gosh, I could use that. There are also a lot of tools out there that I don't even know exist. So, anything. Really? Never. I'm actually going to use those for here. So I will weld my stick around. Maybe not today, but that's going to be the splash part. That's what I'm going to do for the splash part. So again, hard stone, little mini hard stone up on the edge, and I can go across this way. And again, like I said, I am using things in a way that I may not recommend to you, but also learn. So you can go this way or this way. Again, carefully, and you have to, as I'm doing, I know, right, Nancy? Thank you. Squirrel. As you are running these things on their edge, if you are to do this, please, again, I am wearing a face shield on top of my safety glasses and face shield, because man, I love my face. It's how I make my money. I want to keep it. I love my eyes, my nose, my mouth. I want to keep all these things. They're beautiful. Yours are too. Work safely. But also, experiment. As you are taking these and going back and forth, it's a dance on top of the metal. Yes, I push down onto it sometimes, but you have to be thoughtful about your tools and your equipment. So you just want to very lightly, I'm going to call it surfacing material. I'm just going across it and just surfacing it. They're surfacing it. And this, because this is round, it tends to get my high welds, the high spots, and so I can just go across. So that, or with the little ones, just depending. But I work smaller, I work with the details because I just like to be all up in the business, all up in the details of business. I want to know all what's going on. I like to see everything. So I tend to work with smaller tools. 3-inch cutoff reel, again, same thing. I am doing the same thing with all these different tools. And just each one will give you slightly different results. If I have heavy welds, definitely will be in there with that cutoff, or the hard stone. I do use the cutoff reels also on their edge. And this is the extra dangerousest of all things to do with it. Be careful. Please use all your safety equipment. I am not responsible. Right? I mean, I'm responsible. I'm not responsible for you. Be responsible for yourself. So again, up on edge. Very carefully dancing across the surface of the material. You don't want to pull on this because that's when they explode. You want to keep it on its exact edge. And you can create textures and flow. Because these pieces are round, you're catching and like you're working on a flat surface. Even though these are curved, it's still a flat surface. Figure that one out. It really is. But taking that is like this focuses on like if I am welding this 1/4-inch round bar and it's smooth like this, nice smooth transition, that's great. And then I weld between them and this weld becomes bumped up. Don't charge me for putting my middle finger up a little tiny bit so I can show you this. This is 1/4-inch round bar, not my hand. So when you take, there we go. When you go across this, it'll take and just hit that one weld, bringing it down. You can go too far, which also lets you go, and you can just get that out. So there you go, folks. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of grinding here on this, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I can show you like what each different one does. So I am using my small hard stone because this spot here is, I just want to work in a small area just to show you this, to show you how I can break down that transition. Oh, thank you. lots of other ways to do this. Like I said, it just depends on what area you're in. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is the eye. So as I'm going in here, you can see like this one's a little bit slow going, so I'm going to switch out to my larger to show you that. It's really fast. That I use that I love in the description for this video, they're all listed there. Amazon links. If there's something you're looking for, or there's something you're trying to do, and you're looking for a way to do it, let me know. I happily share all that stuff. Alright, so hard stone. This is a much better way to do it because it is, as long as you're careful and take your time. They're here for the party. So here's with the hard stone, and you can see, let me switch this around so I can just see what I'm showing you guys. Hello, Johnny Greens. Welcome. So what I got here now is, now that I've used the hard stone, you can see, don't mind this grain. That's from the hard stone. This is good for initially taking off a lot of material fast. You can see I have a little tiny gap here, like a spot that's like lower. Because I'm using 1/4 inch round bar, I have basically, I don't know exactly how much, but I've got probably a few 16s, a couple of 16s to work with, right? So I probably got, I could dig down into this a little bit further. But as I'm doing this, I want to make sure that my transitions, my curves, stay curvy, that they're smooth. And so I don't want to dig, I don't want to dig too hard into this. That hard stone, when you first start off, has a corner, has an edge. It's square. See this? Up here and square. And so this edge right here is dangerous as heck as far as, not dangerous, but it will cut a groove, it'll cut a square. If you just drive that straight into that, it's going to make that corner that it's into it square. So with a hard stone, especially on curves, you want to be very, very careful about the angle in which you're using that. So I can dig into this further. I should be able to get that gap right there, like that. Oops, where are we? I'm sure you can see what I'm talking about. I should have no problem grinding a little bit farther and getting that out of there. This one's too deep. I'm going to have to go back in later on and weld. So what I want to do right now is just get out what I know. Like I can get that one out, and I can get that one out, and clean this up a little bit more. And then I'm just going to keep going further on doing this so that I'm going to have to weld in here. So I just want to do my initial welding and my initial grinding the first time so that it is, gets me, like not close, but I mean like it gets me closer. You get the general idea. And then you can go back in and put a little, fill in the welds and everything else. So I am, this is where we part ways, y'all. I am going to get myself back to work. I got a whole bunch of a little bit better focusing to do if while I'm going along. I got to do my work so I don't get fired. If y'all have questions, you can email me at gmail.com. If you forget to put Gmail, you can put Yahoo too. Got them both. I have how to weld books on my social media. I have how to weld books on my website, BarbieTheWelder.com, and you can join me on my social media where I'm posting pictures and videos of me creating. I love your questions. I'm so grateful that y'all are here. It means the world to me. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for joining me. Like all this stuff helps support me so that I can continue doing what I'm doing, and to think that I get to do this, it just means the absolute world to me. So I am super grateful for you. Thank you so much for being here with me. I love you to the moon and back a bazillion times. Be excellent to yourself. Be excellent to each other. Make today your masterpiece. Stay true to freedom.